Hey guys, the Atari2600Fan is here again, coming at you with another video. I've been gone for quite a while. I'm not going to be explaining why in this video. I might make a video at a later date explaining where I was and why I decided to take a break. But today I'm going to be doing an updated game room tour. The reason I decided to do this is because there has been a lot of changes with the game room. For instance, I now have 2 game rooms as opposed to 1. The first game room is the main one, and that is the one with the yellow walls, which is featured in most of my videos. The second one is in my bedroom, and that's the one we're in right now. The reason I now have 2 is because in the one with the yellow wall, that's where I put my main stuff, like my main systems, my main games, just basically that's all the stuff that I use the most. And in my room, I have more of my modern stuff and more of the stuff I don't really have room for in there. So I'm going to be giving a tour of my bedroom first, and then we'll be jumping right into the main game room. So the first thing I want to show off is my PSP games. I don't play the PSP that much, and I think the reason for that is because it's just a little bit too modern for me. I don't really play modern games too much. The only modern games I play is the Call of Duty games and the GTA games. But it is a pretty good system. They do have some pretty fun games on it. And in front of the games, I got the PSP system right there. Next to that, we got the Nintendo DSi XL. It's a pretty good system. They have some pretty good games on it. And right next to that, we have the DS games. Under here, we have the 360 games. I don't have a lot of 360 games. I only have about 20 games. I guess that is pretty much an average size for a 360 collection. But I have seen collections that are just stacks and stacks of games. I don't really see myself getting that many 360 games because I just don't really play the 360 all that much, because I'm just not really into the games that are on it. But it is a pretty good system. But anyway, under that we have the Commodore monitor. This is really cool. I haven't played with a Commodore hooked up on it, but I have played with an Atari Flashback 2 hooked up onto it, and it is pretty damn cool. If you can ever find one of these for a good price, I'd highly recommend picking one up. Right next to that we have the Atari Flashback 3. This is a pretty good system. It's basically, if you don't know what the Atari Flashbacks are, they're basically the series of systems that Atari has put out, which is full of a bunch of classic games, a bunch of classic arcade and Atari games, Atari2600 games, and it is really fun. These usually run for about $40. You can usually find the newer ones at Walmart's or Target, anywhere that basically sells electronics. You can basically find them there. They're pretty good, and they're not all that expensive, so I highly recommend picking one up if you ever find one. Right here we have the PS1 Mini, and on top of that we have the screen hooked up onto it so you can make it portable. Right next to that we have a Sega Dreamcast, the original Game Boy, a Game Boy SP, a Game Boy Advanced SP, and a Game Boy Color. Now right here we have my original Game Boy games and my Game Boy Color games. Now the reason they're inside of a bag is because I don't really know where to put them. I don't really know the best way to display them. So this is pretty much the best way of storing them that I have right now. My Game Boy Advance games, however, I keep in the other room inside of a case. Anyway, that's basically it for over here. Right over here we have my Xbox 360, and next to that we have my iPod Touch 4th generation and my computer, which is currently has Windows Vista in it. I want to upgrade to Windows 7 soon, but right now I just don't have the money, so right now I'm just fine with using Windows Vista. I know that Windows 8 is out now, but I'm not really looking to get Windows 8. I've used it at stores, at some stores they might have like a little display on computers, and you can try them out to see if you like them, and they all have Windows 8 installed on them, and the thing is, it's just not really my thing. So anyway, that's basically it for this room. I'm going to be moving into the other room now, so I'll see you there. Okay guys, so we're in the other room now. One of the main differences, which I'm pretty sure you're all going to notice, is, if you remember over here, I had 2 shelves which were basically full of all my main games, all my Atari games, my Saturn games. I think that there might have been some Genesis games in there. I can't really remember what I had in there. But that shelf is gone, and now I just have a bunch of these shelves that are built into the wall, and it basically has like almost my entire video game collection right there. and I'm going to be getting to that in a minute, but for right now I'm going to be showing you what I have behind me. Anyway, on the shelf I have behind me, I have a Sega Genesis plug and play, and what's cool about this is it kind of acts like a Wii. For sports games you can use motion sensor controls, and the controllers are kind of like a Wii controller. They act like a Wii controller and they look like a Wii controller. For example, if you're playing a bowling game, you just take the controller and just flip it off like that. I don't use this all that much, so I can't really tell you much about it, but one of the things that are cool about it is, I don't really know how this works but you can basically put in a memory card somewhere in the system, and you will be able to play games that you have downloaded onto the memory card for the Sega Genesis onto here. At least that's what I think, at least that's how I think it works. I'm not really all that sure, but that is how it works. That's pretty damn cool. Right here we have a little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters plush. Then right here we got my PS1 games. I got 2 rows of those, and mixed in with the PS1 games I got some PC games. Under this shelf we got the Master System games. Then next to those we got my Commodore 64 cartridges. Then under that we got my Commodore 64 disc. Right here we have my N64 games. And then I got another shelf of N64 games, but at the end of it, it starts my Genesis and 32X collection. And I got a few rows of Genesis games. Then at the bottom shelf I have all my TI-99 games. Next to that we have an Atari2600 Heavy Sixer casing. It does not have any of the insides on it, so it does not work. All this is the outer shell for a Heavy Sixer. It is pretty dusty. I haven't really brought this thing out in quite a while, so I do have to kind of wipe this thing down and get all the dust off of it. But right next to that we got the Atari 2600 trackball. This doesn't work all that well. I don't know if it's broken or the trackball just never worked all that well. I need to kind of look into that. But right next to that we have a defective Sega Master System. What's wrong with this is that it only plays the built-in game, which is Hang On. But anyway, under that we have basically all my wires for all my games. I have my plug and plays in there too. So I'm not really going to be showing off what I have in here, but I have them labeled for what's in there. For example, like the top one is the Atari stuff, and then I got Nintendo stuff, and then Sega stuff. And I got some joysticks and some paddle controllers in here. So yeah. Alright, so over here we have basically my TV and a few of my systems on it. Right here we got a bunch of Mario figures. Then right here we have some PS1 games. There are some PS2 games mixed in there too, and there is one CD in there. But anyway, right here I have a Grand Theft Auto 5 pre-order keychain viewfinder, and basically what this is, if you hold this up to the light and you look inside of it, you'll see a screenshot from inside of the game. There are, I think, 6 different one of these, with each one has a different screenshot. I got the one that says "Welcome to Grapey Seed." I was kind of hoping to get the Vinewood Hills one, or the one that shows the Los Santos skyline, but I'm happy with what I got. Anyways, right down here we got my systems. We have the NES right here, one of my favorite systems of all time. The Atari Flashback 1, the Sega Dreamcast, a PS2 Slim, an original Xbox, and a Nintendo Wii. Now inside of here, I used to have all my Wii games, but this is completely empty now. And in here, this used to hold, oh no, wait, yeah, this held my Wii games, and this held all my GameCube games. But all I have in this right here is the case that I hold all my Game Boy Advance games in. And then right here, we have printed out instructions for the game Tomcat, the F-14 simulator for the Atari 2600. Because if you don't know, with that game, you kind of need to use the switches that are actually on the Atari to play it. But anyway, right over here, we have the stuff on the shelf. Over here, you see the Saturn games. Then next to that, you got CD games. And right here, you kind of have games that are kind of mixed together with each other, games that don't have cases for the Saturn and the CD. And then over here, I got my Super Nintendo collection. Then right here, we have all my Wii games. Then right over here at the end, we got all my GameCube games. Right over here, we got Magnavox Odyssey 2 games. I have quite a bit of them, and I only got a and I got the Magnet Box Odyssey 2 a few months ago for Christmas. It's a great system. I don't play it all that much. I ought to play it much more than I do because there are a lot of great games on there. Anyways, next to that we got some PC games and my PS2 games. Right here we have my original Xbox games. Then we have Gamecom games, my Vectrex games, Game Gear games, and right here we have my Virtual Boy games. Next to that we have all my PS3 games. And if you're interested in my PSN and Xbox Live names, I will be putting those in the description below along with links to my Facebook group. Right here we have all my NES games, which fills up pretty much 2 shelves. Well, the first shelf fills up the entire shelf, and then the shelf beneath that has is pretty much half full of all NES games. But then next to that we got my 5200 games. Then next to those we got my ColecoVision games. Then right here we have all my 2600 games. And right here we have a label maker for games that do not come with labels, because sometimes games need to be and labels don't come with all games if you buy them used, especially. For example, Codebreaker right here, I had to put it on my own end label. Anyway, I also have my 7800 games right here. Then right here I have a Merlin, and this is for a airsoft gun. I have no idea why I have it here though. Right here I have an Atari2600 Light Fixer. I have a little protector on it. Then next to that we got the Atari2600 Junior model. Then next to that we have a working Sega Master System. Then right here we have a Zone 16 and Zone 40, which are Wii ripoffs. Right here I have a Super Series Video Arcade. I have it inside of an Atari 2600 game organizer. But it works pretty well for an Intellivision too. You can keep all your Intellivision games on the side. I got some in the back too, along with the IntelliVoice. Next to that I got the Odyssey 2. And I got an Atari Flashback 2. And then under that I got the U-Force for the NES. Right up there is my Vectrex. Next to that I got the Virtual Boy. Then right here I have the Tournament 2000 by Unisonic. I got the gun for it right behind it. An Atari 2600 4-switch model. A TI-99 computer. A Mario plush. A regular PS1. A Intellivision. I believe that this is the Model 1. A Super Nintendo. A little LED Space Invaders game. And right here I got the Mattel baseball game. Under that we got the ColecoVision, which is backwards right now. I gotta change that. I'll change that a little bit later. But right here we got the GameCube, the Game Gear, the Sega Genesis Model 2, the Sega CD, and on top of that we got the Sega 32X, a Saturn, and right there I got a little tape player, a C64, a N64, a CU-128, a Commodore disk drive. I think that this is it's a Tandy Color Computer 3. Right here I got the Radio Shack TV scoreboard. Behind that I got a joystick for the Coco. Then right here I got a 6-switch, a Light Sixer Series Video Arcade, a Vader Atari 2600, an Atari 5200, and the Atari 7800. Then right up here I got the Video Pinball by Atari. It is a pretty good system. I don't play it too much because it's a good system, but it's basically a bunch of games you can already get on the 2600. Like Breakout is in there, and I think that Pong might be in there. I don't know. I haven't played it in quite a while, but it's pretty cool. I got that for a good price. I got that for $20, so if you ever find one for a good price, I'd highly recommend picking it up. Right there I got the box for a Commodore 64. I'm not sure if the system is inside of it right now, Right there I got some boxed Master System games. And right behind there I got the box for an Atari 2600 6-switch. Right there is my homemade arcade machine. I forget if I already showed this off in this video. I don't think I did. But just in case I didn't, I'm gonna show it again. That's basically it. Thank you for watching the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and that's about it. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.